Hello, beautiful humans. Welcome back to Kick Up Flex. My name is Christine. I hope you're having a wonderful day. And let me tell you something. We're going on to the episode 3 of the Shaman King. If you haven't seen it, go watch episodes 1, 2, and 3 and let me know it's on Netflix. And today we're going to talk about pretty much what I think about the characters and if you agree or don't agree. And we're going to start off with Anna, to be honest. And she seems to be pretty decently strong. Possibly even a better fighter than Yo is right now. It doesn't mean that she has more strength, but I think she would be able to beat him up pretty quickly. So she definitely announced a very surprising thing, which they are going to be married, and they were pretty much an arranged marriage because of he has a family of shamans and the family just wants to keep it going. I just find that fairly interesting that it was an arranged marriage, which, happens a lot for a lot of different cultures around the country, or around the world, not the country. Happens for a lot of different cultures around the country. But we find out that Anna is trained by Yo's grandmother as an Itako, and she can summon just about any spirit that has passed on or hasn't passed on. So she could find out any information that whoever Yo is talking to, talk to any spirit from anywhere she's at to always keep updated. Well, if that's not spying, I don't know what is, but that's a pretty interesting way to spy. That means you can't get away with nothing. If you get seen by a ghost, you done got. She seems pretty strong. She doesn't really let up on him. I guess her training regiment to train him to make him stronger physically and spiritually, as in mana wise, because not only do you have to be able to withstand the spirit within you, but you also have to physically be able to keep up, so therefore you won't pass out at the end. And then we also did find out that where in order for him to be the Shaman King, he has to be able to beat every single shaman there is in order to be the Shaman King, in order to meet the great creator at the very end of the story. So they actually run into a very interesting enemy, and her name is TalJoon, and she has her partner who very hilariously is what they're going off of, kind of like Bruce Lee, but out of respect they call him Lee Pyron, and how he's a movie star, this great martial artist that does his martial arts called Dao Dan Do, and for the simple fact that he's legendary and he died mysteriously. His body disappeared, and from June's family, they kill people, and then, which is completely messed up, and then use their spirits to control. And believe it or not, she is related to Ren, and she's going after Yo to take the samurai spirit as a gift. Because now my question is, if their specialty is to use body parts or the original body of the user, could they use a skeleton and then use that as a summon body to force it in? What would happen with that? Or do they just build it from scratch? I mean, I don't know much about this family at all, but from looking at Lee Pyron right here versus looking at June here, and how she's able just to control him with that little piece of paper, which, believe it or not, is her blood on it. So I'm thinking that adds like an extra control. But during combat, I realized that there was a small delay with her combat, having to write the kanji with her blood and then throwing it in order to change. But she also has to give every single one of these piece of paper is an order that she gives, like you have to fight, you don't stop until he dies, or just hold him, or do whatever. It's very mechanically controlled, but once that machine starts, it becomes pretty much unbeatable, because you are technically fighting something that doesn't need to breathe or take a rest or doesn't really feel pain. So it's not like they're gonna have that stutter step or that fear of getting hurt at the long run. So I realized as an opponent she was very powerful, but at the end, guess what? She kind of did lose. Now, Yo over here, I will be honest, he got beat up this whole entire match, and I was just kind of shocked about how bad he really got beat up. But the one thing I kind of realized was that after he stood up for himself for a minute. No, I take that back. He didn't stand up for himself, okay? I'm gonna be honest, I am gonna take back that word. What he did was, he actually stood up for Lee Prion because he didn't like how Lee Prion was being treated or subjugated against his will. And I think there is something special within Yo, because at some point in time, he was in a way emanating this aura to where he can actually reach the true feelings of the spirit, or activate it, control it in a way to make the spirit feel something at least. And I thought that was a really interesting take. But if it wasn't for none other than Manta, I tell you right now, this kid, he won the episode for me. I didn't really matter. The fight really didn't matter to me. It was here where I think we learned the best lesson. Yo needed a weapon or something that resembled a samurai sword in order to make this fight come true, and he made it come true. I will tell you that much. He actually ran and went to go get a wooden sword, found it randomly, and it belonged to none other than this wooden sword wielding Ryu, and literally he got beat up so bad. But you know what? He used the book of knowledge to help his friend out and come through like the bro he is. And they are really good friends. And I was like, you know what? If I was ever to have a friend, I would want that kind of friend to do that for me too. To kind of sit there and get beat up for me and still be there at the end of the day to help me win the day. But the one lesson that I learned is fortification, to be who you are, and to, you know, fight for what you believe in, because Manta really did push that boundary for me for this episode. And not to control every living thing by force, because guess what? You never know if you're honest and trying to be yourself and caring and friendship, that it could actually come out stronger. And I think that's what that whole entire fight, this whole entire episode is it talks about what bonds mean, whether they're starting with, and it's okay for second chances. And that's what Lee Prion showed as well. Manta showed the bond of, hey, I finally have a friend and I'm willing to do anything to save him. Prion in a way, it was kind of selfish. He wanted to finish mastering his own martial arts, but he didn't want to do it alone. He wanted to stay with June, and that made and changed her personality. So not only did the effect of the fight change her, but also the spirit themselves. And that's one thing to take with you, and to keep and realize that in itself is important. But if you like what you see and you want to see more, please let me know. Subscribe, hit that bell notification, hit that like button as well, because it helps me with that YouTube algorithm. Thank you very much, by the way, and I will see you next time. Peace.